Turn that on. Hey, how's everyone doing? Welcome to Beginning Drawing, Learn to Draw with Kurt Aspland. That's me. This is Monday afternoon live. We always get together Monday afternoon and take a look at something that has to do with, usually landscape, but today we're doing a little something different. We're going to draw a little still life, so it should be fun. And I am live, so if you have any questions, please say it in the chat, and I will be sure to answer them. Let me get my screen cooking here so we all can see what I have. We have Elena's here, and Cindy, and Missy. All right, that sounds like a great crew to me. All right, let's get going here now. Get that turned up there. And Kevin. Ooh, I'm not alone. Getting some men to represent, right? All right, so we're going to take a look at this still life. It's a still life in a sense of this bucket of apples. It should be good. There's a lot of variation in value here and size. So one thing is I noticed that we're looking a little bit further down into these apples. It's not as foreshortened, but that should work quite well. So let me kind of show you this concept first of overlap, and you're going to be probably not impressed by it, but we'll go over it anyways. Let me show you. Actually, it is quite interesting when you start looking at it in deeper detail. So. Overlap. So here we have a round object, okay? Then we'll put another object behind that. And then we have another object behind this, right? So this, of course, is one of the elements or tools that we use to create depth in a picture. That's overlap. One object sits in front of another one. Well, really the secret to all of this lies right here, and let me show you where it is. It's right here. These little markings right there. In fact, I'm going to brighten that up just a bit so you can see it. We'll go with that purple. That looks pretty good. A Y. There's a Y. This is kind of an upside down T. Here's a Y, and reason why I point that out is because it's a device that has been used over the centuries, in fact. And let me show you how that actually works. Let's say you had a pole, all right? You have a pole here, and I want to get the concept of something wrapping around this pole. Well, I would simply do something like that. There's that Y right there, and then I would do this, you see? So now I've just created this ring that's around this pole. You'll also see it a lot of times in animation. So here you would do something like this. Let's say this is an elbow, and if you went like this, but then you came up here, you see you've just created this arm, and the forearm, or that the top arm is in front of the lower arm because of this device of a T. A lot of times if you are new to drawing, many people will do this sort of thing, and they won't even give any consideration when you get to a corner to say, oh, this could go in front of that, and you can create depth just by using that simple device. All right, so even in the knees, if you came down here, there's a kneecap for you, right? Well, we might do something like this. You see that makes us look at the top. This is the thigh, like the thigh is coming forward, and the calf is behind that. So it's a very powerful device, and when you use it, when you're actually thinking of using it, it can become quite, you could create a lot of depth. So this is the power of overlap. I should have grabbed a sample here of, well, just give me a second. Let's see if I can find a, let's see if I can find something. I want to see if I can find a picture of, hold on here. All right, hold on here. Images. So it's a device that is used actually with intent on. You could find it in all kinds of artwork, but here's a drawing from Michelangelo, and I do want to show it to you real quick. Okay, so let's do this. Let me pull that up there. Can I draw on that? No, I can't. So let's do this here. Hold on here. Insert photo. This is worth looking at for a second here, okay? Okay, so here's a drawing of Michelangelo. And you could kind of see when you really start thinking of this idea of overlap, you know, this is obvious. There it is. Let's go to green on this. That's obvious, that little overlap right there. You see that? And then, of course, then you can also see it, really, the way that he's using it is, it's so powerful here in the arm, where you have this, and then you have that, and then you have this. You see that? Here's the back shoulder coming down. Those are just a couple examples of how you can use overlap to convey deep form. So that's pretty much all I will say on that. But it's a very powerful tool once you start really looking for it and adding it to your drawings. Okay? So we're going to use it today, actually, when we draw all of these apples, and we'll use it to our benefit. So let's kind of delete that. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. I am going to go ahead and use a framework here. All right, it'll help to keep my proportion all snappy, right? Okay, let's go ahead and get going. Let's kind of look to the top and the bottom and get our oval right. All right. Remember your minor axis, right? So let's see here now. I want this side to match. Okay, and I'm drawing from my elbow here. I'm going to come down just a little bit in an angle. And this is also going to be very round at the bottom. Make sure that you really make the bottom part round here. Don't miss that one there. Got this. Oop, that's too dark. Got this tree back here, right? All right, so as I'm looking at this picture here, I'm asking myself, how many apples across is this? So there's one apple, there's another one, there's another one. So it's about 3.5, okay? 3.5. So let's see here. If I go about that, I'm trying to, a little bit smaller than that. Okay, I'm also checking what is the distance between the back end of the bucket and the front end. What's the distance? Okay, that's another little clue I'm looking to get my apples the right proportion. All right, next one. All right, so now I'm using a horizontal line of, all right, so this next apple is a little bit below that. And then the next one. At this phase, I'm in a construction phase. I'm just trying to get roughly my proportion set in place. Look at this here. By looking at relationships, the edge of this apple, the front end is, toward the front end of this guy here. So, and the back end comes way over here, okay? Oh yes, a little apple pie. That sounds good. My mom would make me apple pie all the time for my birthday. That was my go-to instead of a cake. All right, so I'm just kind of proportionally just roughing in where each one of these guys is going to go. Now, this back end here is going to have a lot of leaves, so we'll leave those off for the time being. Okay, so let's kind of get position of our and hello Tamara. Let's get position of our handle here. And one thing I'm going to use to get at the right angle, I'm going to use this. Look at this. Look at that negative shape there. You see that? That's a good device to try and get the right angle. So I'm looking at that shape, trying to match it here. Okay, it's going to be about like that. And so this will go ahead and get me started here with the angle. I'm also looking at this negative shape. Look at that. Okay. All right, I'm going to erase all that now. Okay. I'm going to have to make some adjustments here in my basket. I mean, that's what we do, right? Well, I'm going to go with this. It isn't quite correct, but I'll live with it. All right, let's get this ring. Get this ring around. Metal ring. Okay, then we're going to have another apple down here. As kids, we used to have these little things from, there used to be a company, I don't know if they had them out here in the East Coast, but in the West Coast, there was a company called Hostess Pies. They would make all these treats. Man, they made this little apple pie that was delicious. It was like a pastry, like a meat pie, but it was just apples. They had a cherry one, and they had a couple of different flavors. My mom would never buy them for us, but when we did get them, man, they were good. All right. Wow. As I'm looking at my drawing now I'm just seeing so many. Man, this is really crooked over here. Really crooked. What did I do wrong? All right. Well, we're just going to have to roll with it. All right, so we got all that in place. Let's add some tone to this right off the bat, okay? So I'm going to add some tone to the whole front end here. Add some value. And then, of course, it's casting the shadow in the grasses here. And we get this tree also has tone. All right, let's work on these leaves, huh? When I draw leaves, I think of them as flat pieces of paper, but some of them are going to have curls to it. So I want to really, in my mind, think that they're just flat pieces here. Do they have apples down in, I mean, they're pretty common, especially in the northern hemisphere, because I think we need the cold weather for the trees. I wonder how common they are throughout the tropics, and I think probably pretty common. So we're at the 21-minute mark. Hey, listen, if you are watching this, I would really appreciate you jump down in the comments section and leave a comment of what you like about a dad who draws, or just a word of encouragement to others maybe. And of course, a like on the video is always super helpful. So and if you're not subscribed to the channel, by all means, hit that subscribe button, right? Because that, of course, helps me to grow. And I just don't know where this is all going in the long. I know where I want it to go, but we'll see where it all goes, right? Okay, I'm going to go in here and start adding some tone. All right, I'm just kind of I'm going to start looking at these apples a little bit more in detail here. Squinting my eyes, actually. Then as I'm doing shading, I'm actually shading in the direction of the apple, like surface lines. You see? And then carefully placing where the stems are going there, right? Just playing with my different values going on, right? Look at this. Look at over here. This. Look at this dark. See this? See that dark area right there? That dark. If I draw that, and just think of that more as a shape, a dark, negative shape. That's going to cause a lot of interest. Always looking for contrast and variation, right? You know, to get better at drawing, it really requires the key ingredient to get better at drawing simply is to practice a little bit every single day. Most of these things, piano playing, music, whatever it is that you do, the more time you spend on it, of course, the better you're going to get. But drawing, there are no shortcuts when it comes to drawing. You just have to get the pencil. You just have to get the time in. That is really what separates real grow people. You know, that's what makes you really grow, is getting that time in. If you have any interest, I do have a subscription class called the Daily Draw. It's there is a link down in the description to sign up for that, and we draw a little bit every single day as a group, and that's the whole purpose of it, to help those people that can't stay consistent. That was me most of my time of trying to learn how to draw, was I just could not be disciplined to do that. So as I got older, I was thinking, boy, if I could come up with something that would help others maybe, and help myself at the same exact time, to really focus on drawing consistently every day, that would be remarkable. So that is the daily draw. And it's only $10 a month. 20 hours. All right, enough of this self-promotion. But it just is so helpful. It's really, we're going to see great growth. All right, so I'm just kind of slowly making my way across this, adding different tones of value, and I'm really thinking of like 3 tones: super dark, a medium, and a light tone. That's what I'm thinking as I'm passing by this bucket of apples. When I get to these dark shapes, I'm thinking of shape and silhouette. When you're drawing, one thing you should try and not do is what I call petting your line, where if you're unsure of your line, you end up doing this thing. You see? And it's better if you just draw lightly, okay? And then just come in with one line. Go over that line maybe once, maybe twice. But be very careful not to draw like this, to inch along. I mean, this shows that you're unsure of where it should go, which might be the case, but try and start drawing with longer strokes, and start off with a lighter touch. Then you can kind of establish where that line should go, and then drop down a heavier line on top of it. Now, one thing it's really hard for me to get is these white colors of hay or grass. So I'll probably do more in black than white. Now, if I was going to do a painting of this per se, then I would do it. I would get all my darks in. I would drop my darks in, and then come in with a lighter, an opaque white or opaque yellow to get all those grasses right. Okay, it's very dark back here. I really want to put these apples in a darker value. There you go. All right, let's get this tree in here. Okay, look at the value of the rim versus the value of that tree there. You see how dark that difference is? This has a real Apple label quality to it. All right, I think I'm going to just come in here with these grasses here. What I'm going to do is ignore the fact that they're so yellow there. I'm just going to come in here with using black instead. One thing when you're doing grasses, what you could do is think of grasses like groups. So let's say I was going to do grass in this little square here. I might think of it like this almost. All right, so there's one group there. There's another group. All right, so how would I do this? So this might be grasses on this side here. Let's make that pencil a little bit smaller here. And then we got some over here. These are a little bit on the lighter side. Darker where it's in shadow. A couple stray ones. So you end up getting a bunch together, and that kind of gives a sense of grasses growing in a natural setting. So I'm thinking about that as I'm just not randomly putting these things down. I'm trying to group them together. Group bunches together. Okay, I'm gonna drop in even a darker tone. I wanna take this and the shadow back to a darker area here. Okay. How's everyone doing out there? Did I go too fast? Somehow this one seems a little not as complicated as some of the others that we've done. But that's okay. You know, sometimes when I draw apples or any round objects, instead of doing this sort of thing, I don't know, sometimes it feels easier if I kind of use short little straight strokes, and then I can come in here and kind of curve it just a little bit. That variation seems to make it a little bit more interesting. Well, hey, if they're limes, let's have some key lime pie, right? I got a great recipe. We've got a great recipe for key lime pie, huh? I like that. I used to work for this restaurant chain. I'm not going to say the name of it because they were known for their key lime pie. And of course, for a little short period, when I was there, I helped out in prep. And so I was able to memorize the recipe. So I'll make it here at home, and it is good stuff. It is good stuff. All right, I think that's going to do it for me. I'm going to, I don't want to keep noodling this just to prolong it. Maybe bring some darker value in this corner here All right, I think that's going to do it for today. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're a little bit shorter than we normally go, but that's okay, right? My name's Kurt. I'm a Daddy Draws, and this has been our afternoon live. We have a beautiful bucket of apples, and I'm glad that you tuned in. Elena, Tamara, Kevin, and Missy and Cindy. All right. In a little bit, we're going to be having the daily draw, and like I said, you could sign up for that down in the description. Today, we're going to be looking at some clouds. So, all right, go out there, make your day great. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.